We just got back from our family vacation and we don't have anything to eat in this house. So I am going to make a bunch of freezer meals and stock up the freezer. But because I'm really busy this week catching up from our vacation, I am going to do some dump and go bags that are made for the Crockpot and some make ahead freezer meals using a couple different types of slow cookers. Anytime I'm restocking the freezer or doing any sort of batch meal prep, I'm always trying to think with efficiency at the forefront. So while I am making all of these meals today, what I'm doing is first getting everything going in the slow cookers for the make ahead slow cooker meals. So that way they can do their thing while I prep some of those dump and go bags. But to do this, I'm first browning a whole bunch of ground turkey. I'm not sure exactly how much this is, but it was 2 packs from Sam's Club. And what I'm doing is I'm browning this and then I'm going to split that up between 2 recipes. And one of my efficiency hacks for a freezer meal prep is to really think about what ingredients you can use multiple times. Browning 5 pounds of ground turkey is just as easy as browning 1. So you might as well make a whole bunch of it and then use that across a couple of different recipes. First up, with half of that ground turkey, I am making some really simple taco meat. And I think I maybe have made taco meat on all of my freezer meal videos because it's just really easy and it's also really versatile. Of course, you can use it for tacos, but you can also use it for salads and burritos, turn it into a chili. So I like to keep that on hand in the freezer. So I have the meat in the slow cooker, and then I also put in some salsa. And I don't really measure when I'm doing these sorts of recipes, so I just eyeballed it. And then I threw in some diced onion, a little bit of cumin, and some adobo. Now, theoretically, it might be easier to just make taco meat on the stovetop because you can just cook it up and let it cool. But I do think that taco meat tastes a little bit better when it's made in the slow cooker because it has all that time for the flavors to meld and marinate. So I'm cooking this on low, and I just set the timer, I think, to like 6 or 7 hours. And then I'm checking on it throughout the day. But I think all in all, I let it cook for probably about 4 hours. But while that is going, I am also starting some slow cooker cheeseburger soup. This has been on my menu a lot lately. A friend of mine mentioned slow cooker cheeseburger soup and it really made me crave it. So this is the second time I've made it in 2 weeks. This is a really simple combination of the other half of that ground turkey, some diced onions, diced carrots, and some diced potatoes. One thing I like to mention when it comes to making soups is try to cut up all your vegetables around the same size. So that way with each bite, you get a little bit of all the vegetables. The exception to that for me is potatoes because they do tend to cook down and fall apart. So I find that if I chop them a little bit bigger, it actually turns out better because they're about the same size as everything else later. I forgot to mention that I also included bacon in this, which is kind of funny because I actually forgot to cook the bacon when I was originally making the recipe and I added it in later, which I will show you in a second. Then I just put in 1 box of chicken broth here. I am putting in some crushed freeze-dried herbs. You can season this however you want. Some parsley and basil will be good. I always fall back to Italian seasoning if I don't have anything else on hand, but you really can't go wrong. To maximize the efficiency, I am slow cooking this in my Instant Pot, which really helps because I have my regular crock pot going and then I also have my Instant Pot going. So at the same time, 2 meals are in the process of being made without much hands-on work from me. Now here is this bacon. So I preheated the oven to 400 and I am cooking the bacon in the oven. It's just a little less messy that way. And then I added half of that into the soup. This adds a lot of flavor. Of course, it has that bacony flavor, but it also adds some salt to the soup. So it really does season it. And in case you're wondering, the other half of the bacon I ate. Freezer meals with milk and cream don't really do that well because the fat in the dairy separates. And this recipe really relies on that for the creamy texture. So I'll show you how I handle that in a few minutes, but I am leaving them out while I cook this recipe. But while those 2 recipes are going, I'm now getting a third going in my Brood and Taylor slow cooker. So I am making a white chicken chili, which is one of my favorite slow cooker meals. It's so easy and it's so good. So I just threw some onions and chicken breasts right into my Dutch oven, and then I'm using 2 cans of cannellini beans and tossing them right in there. And to really simplify this, I just use a jar of salsa verde. In my day-to-day cooking, I don't don't heavily rely on a lot of canned and jarred products, but when I'm doing big batch meal prep like this, I do because it's just easier. And I really encourage you to think about how can you simplify when you're stocking your freezer so that way you can actually get it done and really stock up on easy meals. So to this, I'm also adding a little bit of garlic powder and some onion powder, and then I'm throwing this right into my Brewed & Taylor slow cooker. Having nourishing homemade meals like these Crockpot meals stocked up in the freezer is one part of the journey toward a sustainable, healthy lifestyle, but also support and accountability are key. This video is sponsored by Nourish, and I am thrilled to be partnering with them because not only am I a real-life Nourish client, but I am also on a personal journey toward wellness and better health as I navigate all of the changes that occur for women in their mid-40s and with aging. Nourish is the easiest way to find and speak with a registered dietitian, and your insurance covers it. You simply sign up and meet your dietitian online. It is as simple as that. Nourish accepts insurance plans in all 50 states, and 94% of patients pay $0. So I recently sought support with my overall wellness because I felt like my energy and my general well-being was just subpar for my age. At first, I just blamed my sluggishness on the stressors of motherhood and having a busy lifestyle, but it was something a little deeper than that. And I'd even told my husband, I said, I feel like my soul is tired. And Nourish has been a great support system as I have been revisioning my wellness and well-being as I navigate these changes of aging and perimenopause. Through Nourish, I have been focused on changing some of my habits and lifestyle choices so I can feel better, and I do feel better. After a 4-year hiatus, I've had enough energy to return to my regular yoga practice, and I feel more energized for my day-to-day. I regularly meet with a dietitian on Nourish, and she has been helping me track my meals and assess my overall nutrition. With the guidance of my dietitian, I have been using the Nourish app to track my food, and it's really easy to use. It doesn't feel cumbersome or like another thing to do, which is really important because what mom needs another thing to do? I just take a picture of what I'm eating, upload it to the app, and it's sent straight to my dietitian. She can then interpret that data and suggest positive evidence-based behavior changes toward better well-being, and that takes the guesswork out for me. Additionally, I recently had some blood work done with my general practitioner looking at my hormones, thyroid, and vitamins. I was able to send the results of those blood panels to my dietitian through the Nourish app so she can look at all of that information and help me make dietary changes that meet my very specific and unique needs. Yes, Nourish is sponsoring this video, but I am a real life client and I'm super excited to share their offerings with you. You can check out Nourish online using the link usenourish.com/moon and magnolia. And there you can make an appointment in 5 minutes. Thanks so much again to Nourish for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back to these Crockpot freezer meals. So in each of those crock pots, I have enough food for at least 2 meals, but probably more. So that's a lot of food that is cooking for us that I can stock my freezer with. But while they are cooking, I am going to prep 2 freezer meal bags of Coca-Vin meatballs. This is sort of a variation of the recipe from Half Baked Harvest. I will leave a link for that in the description box. But here I have, I think it's 2.5 pounds of ground turkey, and I added in what Parmesan cheese I have left, some freeze-dried herbs, garlic powder, and onion powder. And then I'm just gently mixing that. The secret to a good meatball is you don't want to overwork the mixture. Just mix it in as much as necessary so the ingredients combine and no more. In a separate bowl, I am mixing together red wine and some chicken broth. I do have a few bottles of this particular wine, so I'm using that. But one hack for cooking with wine, if you don't keep wine on hand a lot, is to buy some splits and just keep them in your pantry. That's a great way to cook with wine if you don't want to open a whole bottle or you can't get through a whole bottle in a reasonable amount of time. In the freezer bags, of course, I put the meatballs, some chopped carrots, and the leftover bacon from the pack, and then of course the chicken broth and wine sauce. I would recommend, for the sake of ease, to flash freeze those meatballs for an hour or 2 in the freezer so that way they're not so soft and they don't stick together when you freeze them. But I just ran out of time, so I threw them in there raw and then I put everything in the freezer. I definitely think that flash freezing them would have worked a little bit better, but the best method is always the one that works for you and that you can actually get done. Good morning. It is the next day. I totally ran out of time yesterday. The touring company of Chicago was in town, so I went to go see that last night. I didn't get home until after 10 o'clock. So I didn't get any more done yesterday, but I'm going to wrap up all of these Crockpot freezer meals today. So that's really the nice thing about doing Crockpot freezer meals or any type of batch meal prep, is that you can space it out as you need to. If it works better for your schedule to do it in one swoop, that's great. If not, you can just do it in bite-sized pieces throughout a couple of days. So last night, my husband took everything that I cooked in the crock pot and put it in the fridge. So we'll bag those up and get them in the freezer. And then I just threw a pot roast into this crock pot so it can cook all day. So I just chopped up some onions, threw in the pot roast with some salt, thyme, and some red wine and beef broth. So that's gonna cook, and we'll get back to that later. But for now, let's get all this stuff bagged up and in the freezer, and then we will do a few more dump and go crock pot freezer meals. Okay, so I have a couple of tips for packing and freezing your crock pot freezer meals. Whether the freezer meal is make ahead or if it's a raw dump and go bag, I always double bag and label everything. I like to include what it is, the date, if it's cooked or uncooked, and any additional steps that need to be taken after thawing it and before serving it, like adding cream cheese, for example, to this white chicken chili. That dairy, like I mentioned before, doesn't really do well in the freezer, so I just leave them out, and then I add in the cream cheese in this case once I thaw and reheat this meal. I think moving forward, I might rely a little bit more on that blue kitchen tape. I really like it, and I like to reuse my Ziploc bags as much as possible. So instead of scratching things out 1,000 times on the bags, you can just pull that tape right off and have a bag that you can relabel really easily. For meals that are pre-cooked, I always freeze them flat, so that way they don't take up too much space in the freezer, and they also thaw a little faster that way. But for anything make ahead, which I'm going to show you in just a moment, I always freeze them upright so that way they will fit in the crock pot when it's time to cook them. So all of the dump and go bags that we're about to make together are really designed to be thrown right into the crock pot from frozen and then cooked that way. But if you lay them flat, they're not going to fit in the crock pot. For the make ahead meals, to serve them, I'll just take them out of the freezer, thaw them either at room temperature through the day or overnight in the refrigerator, and then just reheat them as I would reheat any other food. Now for the dump and go bags, all I am doing is chopping up the ingredients and throwing them right into a freezer bag. In this freezer bag, I'm throwing in some chopped onion, chopped carrots, and one full bag of frozen diced potatoes. Sometimes they're sold as Southern style hash browns. And then I'm pouring in a box of chicken broth. And this will be the easiest potato soup you could ever make. So you just throw it right into the slow cooker from frozen, cook it on low or high, whatever works for you. And then when it's finished, you can add in the milk and you can add some shredded cheddar cheese. Anything you'd like in potato soup, you can add to it once it is cooked. And you can also blend it if you prefer. But that is so easy to make. That dump bag takes only, I'd say, 5 minutes or less to make. It'd be really easy to put in an assembly line and have a bunch of potato soup bags in the freezer. I am also making 2 bags of sweet and sour chicken. And I think I made sweet and sour chicken in my last freezer meal video, and it turned out pretty good, but I realized from that recipe, I wanted more brown sugar in it. So I'm kind of refining it. So I just chopped up a couple of peppers and split them evenly between both bags, and some onions. Usually what I do is I try to chop up all the vegetables at one time and then just split them between the bags as needed. Then I threw in some chicken breast, brown sugar. Really, rice vinegar would be the best, but I didn't have any, so I used a white balsamic, which lends itself pretty well to a sweet and sour chicken because it is a little sweet. Worcestershire sauce, soy sauce, sesame oil, a can of pineapple, and the one secret ingredient is some dry sherry. Anytime you're making an Asian-inspired meal, a little dry sherry can really elevate that. And here I'm making the easiest French dip marinade. So I took a pot roast, cut it in half, threw each half in a bag with some onions, beef broth, Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of that red wine because I still had some left over, and again, some dry sherry. I know I'm kind of talking about that dry sherry a lot, but also if you have something like a French dip or a French onion soup, for example, sherry really takes it up a notch and gives it that sort of French dip or French onion soup kind of flavor. And again, with these uncooked dump and go bags, I freeze them upright so that way I can plop them right into my crock pot and cook them from frozen and have a homemade meal without any extra effort that day. Okay, so all of those meals are packaged and in the freezer and ready to go. I am just waiting on this shredded beef to finish up, which will take a few more hours. I split up all of these freezer meals over 2 days, but in terms of my actual hands-on time, it was probably only about 2 hours. And I'm also filming this, which really slows me down. So I'm really confident that whether you do this all in one day or if you split it up over a couple of days with just about 2 hours or so of hands-on time, you can stock up your freezer with these meals.